Live from Fargo and serving you on TV, online, and on the go. This is Valley News Live at 10.
There's a good chance you might be woken up by storms in the overnight hours, depending on where you live. It's a first alert weather day, so let's get the details right away from Hutch.
Andrea, thank you so much. As we turn our attention out to the west, we see on the radar that there are storms crossing out of the Montana area and heading into western portions of North Dakota. We want to pull up our live view right now from Dickinson, North Dakota, part of our Storm Team Skycam network. And it is nothing but lightning out there in western North Dakota right now as a very strong and gusty storm is pushing into and just south of the Dickinson area. And look at those mean clouds that the lightning helps to illuminate, those low-hanging clouds there. Some mean storms pushing their way into western North Dakota. Radar shows them moving very quickly. There's a watch in two central portions of the state until 2 a.m. The question is, will they remain severe into the valley? And the answer is we believe so. These storms have already packed a huge amount of wind potential. We've had isolated tornado threats, but mainly it's been wind damage and hail tonight from those storms. And it looks like they will punch right into western and northwest Minnesota into the overnight. For us, between 11 and 2 a.m., Andrea, I expect the storms to be in our western counties. 2 to 5 a.m., they should be pushing into the valley and western parts of Minnesota into central Minnesota as we go into daybreak. More on the timing and the potential of these storms here in just a few moments.
All right, thanks, Hutch. Leaders of the group One Fargo have come forward with new accusations against the Fargo Police Department, paired with more demands. Valley News Team's Katie Opperly has the story of a man claiming he was targeted by police.
19-year-old Larry Pope and his family joined the group One Fargo at Island Park, claiming wrongdoings of two Fargo police officers the afternoon of June 23rd. Pope says he was stopped when leaving his girlfriend's home. The officers asking what he was doing and searching his bag.
I asked the officers what's going on. They said nothing. We're just going to search your bag. I told them, if you guys do not have a warrant, I'm sorry, you guys cannot do that. One officer proceeded to yank the bag off of my back while the other decided to pat me down.
Pope claims the officers also took keys from his bag, but ultimately returned his things.
And I asked them again, why did you guys do this? And they said I look suspicious because only thugs wear string bags.
One Fargo's organizer says this is an example of a violation of Pope's rights and racial profiling.
What the two Fargo police officers involved did was an illegal stop and detainment, an illegal search and seizure of person and property, and they also did not run his background in order to keep this under wraps unless they had found something.
One Fargo claims they asked for information 2 weeks ago regarding this incident with Fargo police and have received nothing. They are demanding the names of the officers involved be released. In Fargo, Katie Opperly, Valley News Live.
The Fargo Police Department released a statement saying Pope filed a formal complaint with the department and it is under investigation, saying they take all complaints seriously. Valley News Live has requested the incident report matching the time and description presented at today's news conference. A Fargo woman says the officer who shot her son in the eye with a pepper ball needs to be held accountable. Last October, Tyler Patel was arrested for terrorizing and resisting arrest. In this exclusive video, you can see Tyler with his hands up. Once he sets his hands down, police fire 4 pepper balls, one going in his eye. Tyler, who is bipolar, is now blind from that eye. Police were responding to a mental health incident.
Somebody said once, if you're in Hammer, everything looks like a nail. And so their agenda is to put people in jail.
Fargo police determined it was reasonable for officers to use force. Investigators say Tyler told police he was armed with a gun and asked officers to shoot him. He did not have a gun. Some activists in Minneapolis say they do not want to defund or abolish police. They say doing so would destroy their community. One of the activists said any city council member who voted to dismantle police should step down.
Every one of them who voted to dismantle and abolish the police without talking to the black community as a whole, talking to the city as a whole, should no longer be occupying those offices. And I stand on that, and I'll stand on that till I take my last breath.
One of the groups, A Mother's Love, is a grassroots group where members walk the streets of downtown Minneapolis to work with youth on making good choices, helping women in domestic abuse situations, as well as work the crime scenes of shootings to make sure family and friends get respect. State health officials are confirming 52 new cases of COVID-19 across North Dakota. In their information, they added 4 deaths that were then added to the state total after a review. This brings the active case count in the state to 401. 24 patients are currently in the hospital, and over 3,400 are listed as recovered. In Minnesota, the state health department is reporting 569 new cases, with 3 more deaths linked to the virus. This brings the death toll in Minnesota to 1,477. 1,157 happened in a long-term care facility. The active case count in the state now sits at 3,279. A Minneapolis woman is celebrating 2 major milestones this summer, turning 100 years old and beating COVID-19. In addition to overcoming coronavirus, she is also a cancer survivor. Jeff Wagner has the story of her amazing life so far.
She's an incredible woman, that's for sure.
Celeste Angeles grew up calling her Grandma City. Violet lived in North Minneapolis. Her first husband, a World War II hero, lost his life in a freak accident when he returned home, leaving Violet to raise 2 young children. Later, she married a police officer who she has also now outlived.
Everything that's come her way, she's fought her way through it. She survived.
After the passing of 2 husbands and a son, Violet went on to beat cancer.
We are just trying to celebrate every single victory in her life.
On May 6th, that meant marking her 100th birthday. But a few weeks after, the virus that kept her family from her nursing home to celebrate,
Nobody thinks that anybody that they love is gonna have it.
infected Violet and put her in the hospital.
I had been praying for them to, for God to just give it to me instead of her, because I felt that I could beat it and I didn't know if she could.
Within a month, Grandma City did, again showing her strength and resolve as a COVID survivor.
That's not going to be the end of her legacy.
Violet is now back at her nursing home in Crystal. As her family waits for the day, they'll be able to see that fighting spirit again up close.
Once we can see her and wrap our arms around her, that will be the best feeling in the world. So hopefully that will happen sooner than later.
She is pretty amazing. Violet has been forced to move 4 times in the past 5 months because of COVID-19 concerns. Her family says that has left her somewhat confused, but they think she will feel better when she's back in her old room.